This is Sizzling, powered by Fit to Be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios here in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End Broadcasting. That's DEEPEND, like a swimming pool, broadcasting. Now here's your host of Sizzling, Karen Dougherty.
You tricked me again. I try and guess what you're going to do. There's no sense in doing that, because you are a man of mystery. All right, I'm in a silly mood, which is good. But I might make a fool out of myself. So don't judge me, people. It's a health and wellness podcast. And part of being healthy and well is being silly and laughing. And that's where I'm at today. How's your day going?
Oh, it's beautiful outside.
I know. It really is. It was
this Wednesday,
really...
November the 5th, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Live right at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How about that?
And we are in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Very beautiful, mild fall we're having so far. And it's sunny today. We've had a lot of rain, and those of you who are on the East Coast are well aware of that. And so now,
if it was like this year round, I would not complain the way that it's outside today.
I know. It started out pretty chilly, though.
Perfect workout weather, too.
It is. I perform way better in the fall. You too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, it doesn't take much, like even moving around. We did a swimming pool cover this morning, and that's a little bit of a workout itself. But by the time that we finished, it was warm,
Yeah.
Take the sweatshirt off. We're sweating a little bit.
Right.
I'm glad I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so nice out right now. And then you look at the temperature and it says 58 degrees. You're like, man, that's actually kind of cold. But it doesn't feel like it because it's nice.
I'm experiencing the same exact thing. Like, I was surprised that it was like 62 or something. And I was so warm, because
it's perfect grounding weather.
What do you mean by grounding?
Your girl in I think it's Texas, is Sherry?
Yeah.
The girl who walk barefoot outside.
Yeah.
To get the energy of the earth. That's her, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is her. I'm glad she sent me a book. I'll have to share it with you. Nice. She sent me a gift over the weekend. She made me go hunt it down because she sent it to the wrong address, one of my old addresses.
You should read it and we'll go over it on the air.
I know, because that is the subject, though. That's the blood type. Steve is talking about Sheridan, my friend Sherry, who lives in Texas and Wisconsin. She's a snowbird.
Oh, yeah.
She's one of those girls. Yeah, she has it like that. Anyway, she sent me the book because we had the podcast together about the blood type. Eating for your blood type. And it's a really good podcast, a really good episode, I should say. That was a fun one. And it was a redo because
dig through our archives. You'll find
it's not even that far back. I would say last month, maybe the month prior. But she sent me the hard copy book. She had contacted me a couple weeks ago and was like, that she went to get the book and it was a new version. And so she was like, this isn't even, I want the old school book. So she got something different and sent me. I haven't gotten a chance to look into it yet. I just got it, but I'm looking forward to it because the eating for your blood type, it's very interesting. Catch up with us.
Well, it's the perfect day to sit outside and read a chapter.
Yeah,
actually.
That's good. And vitamin D, and get vitamin D, because now they're talking about how the straight sun, like, don't put sunscreen on because we need the vitamin D from the sun. I think that's interesting how things always flip flop and change, don't they? Like, one week eggs are bad for you, and then the next week they're good for you. And I shouldn't say week, but years, because I remember for years they were considered bad. And I'm a woman of a certain age. So that was like 20 years ago, like considered high cholesterol, something that wasn't good for you. And now, oh my goodness, I eat probably 3, 4, sometimes 5, almost every day. Eggs is definitely in the diet every day to get protein in.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do you like Greek yogurt? Do you eat Greek yogurt?
I eat a ton of it, and we use it. We eat a lot of potatoes. So we being my son and I, I'm always cooking for him because he's in that healing process. So he has to eat like lots of all food groups.
Yeah, he's
right?
a guy who would just eat anyway, but yeah, he's
exactly. But he really has to eat. They say when you're healing from an injury that you need meat that has like gristle in it. So steak, stuff like that is really good because the tendon.
right.
You can guess why. I would be guessing, but so we ate a
Makes
lot
sense.
of that and a lot of potatoes, and I put Greek yogurt on top of the potato because it tastes like sour cream. If you get non-fat, no flavor, just plain,
Mhm.
it tastes like sour cream. So you can use it in a lot of different foods.
Mix it with berries.
Right. And if you want to make it sweet,
Those berries are some good protein detoxers.
I know. That's what I do. I use the Greek yogurt in my smoothies sometimes. And and I always add not sugar. I didn't mean to say that. Sweet stuff like fruits. And I've been on this kick where I've been eating ginger. You buy it, it's cubed. And it is in sugar. I will say that. I know sugar is a bad word in the world and probably on this podcast, but I do eat ginger is really, really good for you. And you buy it in a jar about 4 or 5 inches big. It's not, in other words, you don't get a lot of them. And it's $8, so it's kind of expensive. It's a treat, but you put 4 or 5 of those cubes in your Greek yogurt. Oh my God.
Really?
I did
That's
a
a good trick.
post. I did a post about it even. It's so good. So you're getting the ginger. Granted, they're rolled in sugar, but it does sweeten things up. I mean, I'm never
a little bit of sugar is not going to kill you.
exactly. I'm never going to be that girl that doesn't eat anything. I believe in eating so much so that I was out of calories. Okay. My brain was going dead and I was coming here and everything in my refrigerator had to be cooked and except for an ice cream sandwich. And I ate an ice cream sandwich on the way here so I could think straight. Now, I know that I promote health and wellness, but health and wellness is also eating. And if you don't, I knew if I came here with no calories in me, that I wouldn't be able, not that I'm any brilliant scholar right now, but I mean, it's better than not having anything in your system because food helps your brain and sugar is not good for you, but a little bit isn't going to hurt. And I'm always going to be that person. I actually get a little annoyed when people go in one harsh direction on something. And it always makes me question its validity when people are like, you shouldn't eat sugar at all or no carbs, right? That was so popular for so long. We need carbs to function. Like that's not healthy. Will it promote fat loss if you lower your carbs and eat fat and protein? Yeah, it will, but there's so many good things about carbohydrates, in fruit. And I hate to say it, I'm in a pretty chipper mood and I'm feeling good and I can't wait to eat a good meal, but that ice cream sandwich helped me. Sugar and all, chocolate, dairy. There was some good things. There's some valid things in something like that. I am in a really great mood and excited because I get to go out of town and work again. I went to Colorado and I got to work. And when you go out of town, there's always so much fun to be had too. And Richmond, I'm only going for a couple of days and it really is totally work for 8 hours. I'm going to speak with accountants because accountants sit at a desk, and a desk seated 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, compound. You don't need me to do the math. Sitting can be hard on you and hard on your posture. And so therefore, if your posture's out, things start to hurt. And I like to sell pain-free exercise, pain, or try, and if you're in pain, come to me and I will try and get you out of pain beyond a physical therapist. You know what I mean? If you've done all your medical stuff and all that. But it's one of my favorite things to do, because usually posture has a lot to do with why we deal with pain. And because of repetitive repetitive body motion, whether you're a truck driver, you're constantly seated, you're constantly, hands are on the steering wheel. That's one that people underestimate how much pain those guys and gals can be in because of low back, neck, shoulders. A surgeon has that table that lifts up nice and high when he or she is working. However, they're always hunched over looking, so there's a lot of careers and jobs that can be detrimental to your postural health, so I thought, I'm always trying to help people and show how simple a lot of this stuff is. Like, a little bit of exercise goes a long way. Well, fixing your posture goes a really long way too in your health and living a pain-free life. So I'm going to Richmond to go on a speaking engagement.
Nice.
I know, I'm super excited about it. I get to stay in a nice hotel and get out of the house. It's got a nice gym there. So I thought, okay, I can do content for work and social media, and I'm not going to be speaking the whole time. So there's breaks in between, and that way I can get other work done. Like, I have all these clips from our previous podcast. I can start uploading stuff, and I'm just really looking forward to getting some free time out of the house to do things that I've been putting off for a while. But I kind of want to go back to the neck and shoulder stuff and people that sit at a desk. Like,
this is the stuff I need right here.
Well,
that you're getting ready to talk about.
I know over 65% of us are desk workers. 50% of us are truck drivers, and nearly 70% of surgeons report. I just said surgeons too, and I didn't even look at this yet. I just printed this out. I had a surgeon for a client, is why I knew it. Okay, so mobility matters. I went on Chat GPT and I said, I want a little bit of statistics and some facts about how many people really are hurting from postural stuff. And it said mobility matters. Over 65% desk workers, 50% truck drivers, nearly 70% of the surgeons complain about neck and shoulder pain. 70% of the surgeons. Wow. Well, of course, like I said, that table comes up, but they're really hunched over. Truck drivers, I really think of, because I got my rounded shoulders from driving my kid to school every single day. I was behind that wheel and I'd take them, and then I'd have to pick them back up. And then I was also driving around for my job. So I was putting like 500-600 miles a week on that little Hyundai I had for years. And I had these rounded shoulders, and I knew it was from driving. So a lot of times I get my clients to do little exercises where they're sitting in the car, and you think of that headrest behind you, like really pulling your ears over your shoulders. So you can even hear my voice change when I pull my neck back. And you pull your elbows back too. And you think of the shirt seam, the seam in your shirt. If your elbows are pulled back there, that's where your shoulders should be. And your ears, because most of us have forward head syndrome now because of the cell phones. Not even, even the young kids we've got to watch now, where before a lot of the rounded shoulders was more about careers, what career we had chosen, or aging. Aging kind of just, you're just returning back to that fetal position in a strange way. That sounds morbid, but I never got to look at this. I just grabbed it off the printer and left. 65% of desk workers develop musculoskeletal issues like neck, back, shoulder pain due to prolonged sitting, poor posture. The average desk worker sits 9+ hours a day, often without breaks. Remote work has worsened posture habits, increasing complaints of pain and stiffness. So who's working now? Probably chiropractors, physical therapists, with all this remote work people are doing from home. But it doesn't matter if you're working at your desk at home or working at work. I mean, I think the only thing about working at home would be that you're not sitting as quite good posture. Like I do a lot of work on my couch.
Well, when I bartended, like, it's what you said. The bar was just kind of at an odd level. Mm-hmm. So you'd always find yourself just slightly or like bending your back forward a little bit.
Yeah, I can picture it right now because I used to bartend.
And it was, oh man, it was painful. It was. And you kind of had to adjust things. In fact, the one guy who trained me at the ballpark was an older gentleman because he was there forever. And he was definitely had the hunchback going on where he was kind of bent over walking. Yeah. Kind of had that bump on the back of his neck, kind of where his head was kind of going forward. And he didn't exercise. And finally he went and just basically would walk on the treadmill, I think is what it was. And that completely got him to be normal again. It was amazing. Yeah.
Was he standing up straight?
Yeah. So he obviously, when you're starting, you're going to be in the one spot. But I think just the movements alone, I'm sure he was doing some stretches and stuff like that and involved in it as well. But just the extra added movement of just moving was enough to basically straighten him out.
And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about too, is how a little bit goes a long way. Like he didn't go into
no, it's just a little bit going a long way.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like I think about like your frame in your car. If your frame gets bent in your car, you feel it. It's a really big deal. You're not going to go soup it up and make the engine faster and, add more things on it until you get the frame fixed. Right. And, same with us, like we could be out of alignment and then we load all these weights on and start working out, and it's just not the best. And so most of like how I do my job is starting, obviously I have a Pilates reformer. So a lot of people are coming to me for that. And that's like a whole different subject because you're safe from the very beginning. You're laying down on a carriage and blah, blah, blah. I won't go into that. But if I wasn't doing Pilates reformer and I just had to do fitness, we would be starting out light weights, doing a structural analysis. So it's called a postural analysis. And it's kind of funny because I was in structural engineering. So I'm obviously into this stuff. Because your structure matters. It's the first layer. And then as my person gets better, fitter, faster, stronger, you start souping it up. So you do that with your car, make it faster, whatever. Well, with a person, I can start giving he or she heavier weights, more responsibility, more harder exercises, but you don't want to do that stuff until they're right. And any medical professional would back me up on that. I know that. And it's really just common sense. Truck drivers, up to 50% of truck drivers experience chronic neck and shoulder pain due to vibration, poor seat ergonomics. So that's a funny thing. I joke with people that, because I do work for a lot of professionals. It's really the most expensive thing in an office?
What's that?
The desk chair.
Oh yeah. No, I've done plenty of desk chair shopping. Trust me.
It's a big deal.
In fact, the one you're sitting in is hard for me
nice.
that one's hard for me for whatever reason.
Well,
but the one I got somehow works really good.
Well, it's a big market for the desk chair, and with due cause, with good reason. It should be that way. Because I do have a handout here that I'll use today, or I'm sorry, tomorrow and the next day. The way you sit at your desk is everything. Your eyes are supposed to be centered into your computer, iPad, phone. So in other words, if you're on your phone, you're supposed to be holding your phone up, not leaning down. That's no good. And signs that your posture needs help. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Ideal desk setup checklist. Eyes are forward. So if you're on your phone, hold your phone up. It doesn't make you look like a weirdo. You don't need to be all hunched over looking at it. Nobody's going to see it. And knees at a 90 degrees. So that's just, a right angle. So the knees are extended out from the hips, feet underneath. Monitor your eye level, prevents the neck pain. And elbows need to be a 90 degrees as well, close to your sides. And wrists straight and back supported. That's what made me pull this, because you had said that chair is something that you like. And I would think probably because your lumbar, like your back, is better supported in that. So it is important as heck. Like, I won't bore y'all because I could talk about posture all day. We do have a episode, I think it's like episode 2 or 3, like way back, where I did get the whole 45 minutes to talk about posture. I was in my glory. I love it. But because it's so important, but it is a boring subject. It's not sexy at all. Nobody really wants to talk about posture when they go to the gym. They want to talk about lifting weights and what did you run or whatever. Surgeons and interventionalists. So 50% of the truck drivers, 65% of the desk workers, and 68%, now the number changed, for surgeons report work-related. Long surgeries in static postures contribute to high rates of disability and burnout. Interesting that they would, I always think of burnout as a more emotional feeling, because I get burned out with my job too, but interesting. Global neck pain burden. In 2021, over 2,006 million people worldwide were living with neck pain. I was in physical therapy within the last 2 years for my neck and my shoulder. And what happens is, a lot of times one leads to the other. Neck pain is pain ranks as the 15th leading cause of years lived with a disability, and women and older adults are disproportionately affected, with prevalence peaking between ages 70 and 74. Women and older adults between 70 and 74. And why mobility is the solution. Mobility routines improve circulation, reduce stiffness, and support posture, especially for those in static or repetitive jobs. Even 2 to 5 minutes of moving, well, they say every hour, can significantly reduce pain and improve focus. Virtual mobility classes offer accessible, low-impact solutions for busy professionals. Oh, guess who offers virtual mobility classes? Oh, Didn't even plan that, but here it is. And here ChatGPT said it, but it's funny. ChatGPT has been working for me for a while, so it probably knew to say that it would please me. It is kind of cool. AI does get to know you and will answer questions accordingly. So yes, I do virtual mobility classes, and they're $19 a month. That's it. And I upload 4 a week. I do 2 on the mat and I do 2 in a chair. And the chairs are my favorite because anybody can do them. Not everybody wants to get down on the mat, and that's understandable. I know a lot of people like mat, but there's some things in the chair that you can even do better than the mat. And I'm not dissing the mat. I'm not dissing it at all. If you can get down on the floor and do stretches, that's fantastic. But there's so many things you can do right at your desk. That's what I want to talk to the group over the next couple of days, of how many things you can just do right on the spot to try and either make sure that it doesn't happen, or if it's already happening, ways that you can pull yourself out of it. And some of them are the silliest exercises, like just pulling your chin back and releasing. And pulling your chin back just means putting your ears over your shoulders. And I am a person that has forward head syndrome. So I did have to go to physical therapy for this. I had a really sore neck. My head, if you looked at me sideways, my head was coming forward. And a lot of my stuff, you wouldn't think as a fitness professional, is I'm leaning over the reformer. When my clients are working, I'm leaning over. And it really shows up. And thankfully, I do a lot of exercise. So once I finished my physical therapy, I not only teach because I learned it, I try and help everybody. And I have had a couple clients that have had that hump and gotten it out. And it's simple stuff, really simple stuff. It's just knowing what to do. And a lot of knowing what to do.
Roll your neck around in a circle.
Is just starting from the start by sitting with your legs 90 degrees, sitting with your arms 90 degrees, and I joked, like last week was Halloween. And so for the last 2 months, there have been skeletons in everybody's yard everywhere. And I'm like, nobody has an excuse for not seeing what the skeleton looks like. I have a skeleton in my garage where I work because I want people to honor the skeleton first. That's the first layer.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Put that in order, because that's your frame, like the frame of your car. And then you start stacking out. And stacking could be weight training, stacking could be Pilates, stacking could be just simple stretching. Because I really want, I'm so tired of the whole guilt and shame game about exercise. Like, exercise needs to be done, and it is for health reasons, and it satisfies so many needs in a person. It can help you mentally, physically, you could say spiritually. Some people pray when they're exercising. So whatever, yes, it definitely is really good, but I am tired of people acting like you have to do this heavy duty stuff in order to make it worth it, because that's not the case. Picking up your knee, placing your hands underneath your knee fold and lifting up your knee and rotating your ankle around by drawing a circle with your big toe is very efficient and very, very helpful. And if you do that on a regular basis, it will really help for other things, like helping you not fall. If your ankles are mobile, you're going to be able to save yourself from falling. So taking a walk around your block is exercise, and it counts. You don't have to run a mile in order for it to count. Lifting weights that are 5 pounds 3 pounds, 2 pounds, even 1 pounders can get really heavy if you're doing certain exercises. And that would be like anything with a long arm, that's basic physics. And I'm starting to nerd out here, so I'll pull it back in. But you know what I mean? Like if you have light weights and that's all you got, then you do exercises with a long arm, like say little circles. You'll tire out really fast. And a time issue too. Like I don't want people to think like you have to put in a full hour of exercise in order for it to count. All that stuff is old school, old.
Yeah, you could do your abs in 4 or 5 minutes, even less.
Totally.
And
yeah,
just getting that core
mm-hmm.
stronger is going to help in so many ways.
In so many ways, because once you start dealing with posture, which is the first layer of the skeleton, what's next? The core is pretty much next in line.
Just talking right then and there, I've now stretched out my wrist. I've stretched out my jaw. I get that one with the face. So almost if you have that kind of like hanging fat below your chin, you can almost just work that out just by engaging the muscles in your face and opening your jaw 10 times.
I do that. I do that in my mobility classes, especially when we're laying down.
And you'll get that thing to go away. You will. And,
I know it's really surprising. Like, people want to jump and go spend money and maybe go to like a special kind of exercise class or whatever, and or a special kind of, I can't even think of the name, but a friend of mine was like, I'm going to go do this. And I'm like, I promise you don't have to do, go do that if it's going to educate you and you're going to enjoy it or whatever. But if she was trying to solve a problem, and which was tightness in her knees and legs. And if she just would do some mobility work, she doesn't even have to spend all that big bucks and go see that specialty doctor, at least yet.
I don't want to go get into a swimming pool at the city because I've worked in pools my whole life and
I figured you'd say that.
It kind of grosses me out a little bit, like the indoor swimming pool at a rec center.
Oh,
but man, swimming is amazing if you can find a pool, find somewhere that you like. It gets all the little muscles. It gets your breathing.
Yeah.
It is so good on your joints. Where you can't do like lunges like a normal person, maybe like in the air, I'll say. You can do them inside the swimming pool.
I know.
So if you can get a pool and you'd have no problems with other people in a pool, then try something like that too. At least a few times a week.
I know. I agree with you, because if you think about it, when you think
maybe I'll just make myself do it. I'll go get a rec card.
Mature adult, like any of those communities, they're doing water exercise, but it's not just for mature adults. It's for all of us. I think mature adults have more time, because they're retired. And so I think people get this stigma that water exercise is for older people. No, the older people just can go to class at 10 a.m. We can't. We're still working, but it's still really good for you. So you're right. Like you could go and just get into the pool with a noodle and do 10 lateral side raises, and water exercise is the best, swimming the best. But I'm like you, Steve. I'm not grossed out about a pool. I just don't want to get wet, get my bag, like all the stuff that goes along with it. I tend to find an excuse of why I don't. But I worked at a business that had a pool on site for, I don't know, about 4 years. And I forced myself. I would go through phases where I'd swim laps every day or once a week. And you're right. I mean, it's so good for your shoulders, your neck, your breathing, your mental, just going up and down that pool, looking at the lines. That could drive some people crazy, or it's relaxing, it's meditative. A lot of swimmers will say that's why they love it so much. They find it to be meditative. And you can just
It's one of
picture it.
those things too, where like, oh man, this kind of sucks. I'm struggling. What am I doing this for? The next thing you know, after like 5 or 6 or 7 times, you're like grooving. You're like, oh wow, I'm like really a swimmer.
I know. And it feels it yeah, you're right. I mean, it moves every single muscle in your body. That's the one form of exercise that gets everything. The actual crawl, but water exercise is not just for mature older people, it's for everyone. If you can, like you said, if you can find the time. I thought I had more handouts than this, and my gig is tomorrow, so I'm like, oh, oops. But I even have some 5 easy neck stretches that they can do, like neck stretches side to side, like you talked about. The wall angel is where you're just you bring yourself up against the wall with your back to the wall and just move your arms like you would a snow angel when you were a little kid laying on the ground, making that snow angel. You just do the same thing in the wall. And then chest opener would be clasp your hands behind your back, and your hands are most likely going to clasp right behind your glutes. I always tell everybody, engage your glutes, squeeze your glutes, and your hip flexors get a chance to open up, pull your abs in again and again. And this way your chest is opening up. And then you change your hand grip. That'll help too. Shoulder rolls, obviously. And then a seated twist where you're just sitting in your chair. And we talked about earlier the 90-degree legs, the 90-degree elbows, and you just turn in your chair. I'm literally doing it. And hold on, look over your shoulder. They always say, look in the direction that you're rotating. So you'll maybe rotate a little more, right? Because your body's always going to follow your vision. So that's that. I'm so excited because it's so easy to talk about and it's quick. I'm pretty much done this podcast actually, but I do want to ask you a few things before we go. But that's why I chose to pick this subject to start talking to people about. And literally, you know me, I just really want to help people. And so many people have issues with their necks. Every time I start a group fitness class where, there's 6 people out of 10, or maybe 4 out of 10, let's go there. That's probably more like it. 4 out of 10 are going to say they have neck pain. And so I always have to watch, don't lift your head up or stuff like that, because there's modifications that you need to take when you have neck pain. And you got to fix it. You can't just work your way through it. You know how some exercises like, well, I'll just work my way through this. Maybe it'll get better. Neck doesn't usually get better with more. But that's really that's where I was at today. I just wanted, because I was like, what am I going to talk about in my podcast today? And my thing this week has been, a little goes a long way. Like, I want people to know that you don't have to do running and doing weightlifting and weight training is a choice. I mean, that's something that I really like doing. Not running, but I choose weight training, and I go to a class and there's a coach, and it's my hobby per se, and that's what I enjoy. But I know how much posture is important. Heck, I teach Pilates for my career. And I also know how a little goes a long way, because a lot of my clients don't do heavy weight training and they don't run, and they're in great shape and they're happy and they're producing and at their jobs, and they're not in pain. So I think our idea of what fitness is tends to be a little bit skewed, where it's like you're an athlete or not at all. And I really want people to know that a walk around the block every day will drastically change your life if you're going from sedentary. Doing 30 minutes of these mobility classes that I offer, and I practically give them away because I want people to at least not use money as an excuse. Time is one thing, but now they're on demand and you can do them anytime you want. But I do have 3 clients that's all they do is those mobility classes, and they report that they're happy with their fitness level. One girl even told me she lost weight, and you think of losing weight as only cardiovascular, but it's not. I think we get caught in a box with fitness, and things are repeated and we start to believe that they're true, that cardiovascular is the only way you can lose fat. Well, that's not true. I mean, you just don't have to kill yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say, in order to be in shape. Somebody that decides to go that extra mile, it's a choice, and they want to be in better than average shape, but there's nothing wrong with being average. How about that?
Ooh.
How about that? I mean, there's really, yeah. I didn't even plan that, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, like, I'm a medium girl. I always joke around.
Hopefully they'll give that a highlight on the
yeah, like, I'm a medium
AI
girl.
highlights.
If I'm at Home Depot and the guy goes, all right, we got the real expensive one, we got the cheap one, I always joke, I'm a medium girl. I mean, I'm going to take the one in the middle. And it's okay to be, I'm not saying that sedentary is good, because we know that's not healthy, but you don't have to be crazy athletic in order to be considered fit. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, or healthy, maybe fitness, because that is kind of sometimes a gauge in itself. They'll say athlete, fit, acceptable would be like normal, and then you're going into your lower grades. So I'm not trying to make like, oh, everybody gets a trophy, that kind of person. I just want to get rid of the stigma and the guilt that goes, like, because right now women are just being like, you have to lift heavy weights and it's the only thing that'll balance your hormones. And it's like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. I think you can balance your hormones in lots of different ways. It's heavy weightlifting is a choice for some gals, and it helps with them, but it's not, everybody's prescription. So with that, I won't keep talking because we've been going for about 45 minutes.
Yep,
so
45 minutes.
I can always I can kill an hour with posture. It's just, I'm always so afraid I'll bore everyone in the room, because I do nerd out and get really into it, which is why I set timers and stuff when I'm doing this, because I don't want to bore y'all. I just want you to know that a little goes a long way. It really does. And be kind to yourself. And with that, I am done. How's everything going with you, though? How's football going? How's your podcast?
Football's fun. We had a decent little winter last weekend to keep everything going. So we'll continue to try to capitalize on that.
Cool. Well, good.
You can tune in every Sunday morning, 7:00 here on the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
You're good at that too. I
Robin.
see that come off. Come off. Oh my God, wrong word. Let's back up. I see that come on my phone, that because I have my stuff set to you, so I get notifications and stuff. Yeah, you don't miss. You don't miss. Well, something else too. I just uploaded our 40th podcast last week. So
I don't even keep track of that.
This is our 41st.
Really?
This is our 41st one. So that's that. I know. I think I'm good for us. We've really held true. Both of us meet. We say we're going to meet. And I've been the one, like, I like it when we do it live. live because then I get to do it Wednesday.
I need to
at
reach out to
12:30.
Kiana again. Let's see if we can get her on.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so I am going to start reaching out. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to start reaching out. In fact, that's what I'm hoping these next 2 days because, like I said, I'm not going to be working nonstop. And my idea is that I really want to go after some old school fitness girls, like there's even a page I follow on Instagram and it's called Retro Babes. I love it. I love that. Let's see if I'm saying
Oh yeah, you can probably find some people off of that.
So I'm gonna try like Tammy Lee Webb. I'm gonna try and get some Tammy Lee Webb was the Buns of Steel girl. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be cool.
And I just think it would be super fun, obviously for us, but it would be maybe fun for them too to just kind of, I want to go back and see if I can get some of like Rachel McClish. I mean, I'm not saying I could get them. I don't even know if they're going to read my direct message. It's the only way that I can get to them. I don't even have emails for these girls. So you just pray that they see it. But I'm going to get some gals in here and guys, and I'm ready. I'm running out of I said that I would start inviting the male guests in as soon as I was running out of the females, and I am. And no offense to the guys, I just wanted us all to have a chance to have a voice, and I wanted to get all my girls, and all that list went through. And so now I am searching for guests, both male and females. So that's where I'm going with this. So I'm going to try and reach out to some gals this week. So I apologize if you're getting bored with being stuck with me, but I think you're going to have me and Steve one more week. And then I usually can get somebody in within 2 weeks. So I hope I didn't jinx myself, but I doubt it. But I hope that everybody has a fantastic week, and I will get out there and talk about postural fitness.
All right, Sizzle, we'll see you later.
See you later. Thanks. I wish I was as rowdy as they are. Although I'm pretty perky. I got to drive to Richmond.